I mean, would you consider yourself an aficionado of djent?
I'm not an aficionado because I don't like it, but I know about it, and I understand where it came from.
You're a prog dude. Well,
yeah.
That's one of the common misconceptions as far as instruments go, that we could say is that, you know, people that play 7 strings are often considered people that would associate with djent commonly or frequently, right?
Yeah, djent is mostly 7 and 8 string guitars,
right? Which no. Yeah.
So,
what is djent?
Well, okay, so djent started with, the proto djent band is Meshuggah. Right, most djent.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because I don't like Meshuggah.
Oh, you should. They're pretty awesome.
I keep trying.
I don't blame you. I didn't get into them for a long time because there's basically.
I didn't get into Mastodon for a long time, and I love Mastodon.
Well, Mastodon has more melody though.
Right.
There's not a lot of melody in Meshuggah. It's all about rhythm. And I mean, there's a little bit of like dissonant harmony and stuff, but it's mostly rhythmic. But the thing is, most djent is like a bad attempt at doing what Meshuggah does, which nobody else gets right.
Which is what?
It's both incredibly aggressive and primal, but also very complex and rhythmically cerebral. But it's not, they don't like sit down and, Frederick Thorndahl has said numerous times that basically he writes riffs like he doesn't sit down and like work out a weird rhythm for a riff. He just writes what's in his head. You know what I mean? Which is good, but they just so happen to almost
be
always
in a different time signature.
No. To almost always be polyrhythms is the key. Everything translates to 4/4.
Right.
But it overlaps in weird polyrhythms and weird ellipses. And I mean, there are some parts that are in like 7 and 5 and weird shit once in a while, but most of the time it's in 4, and even if it's not in 4, it can add up to 4. That's the thing, right? So he'll have like this, they'll have some like weird, but there's always like this.
August Burns Red do that.
There's always this
in
one
metalcore, yeah.
No, but there's always a 4/4 pulse over the weird shit.
No, I know. August Burns Red is a metalcore band that have been incredibly famous for that. Incredibly famous for that.
Well, they don't do polyrhythms at the same level as like Meshuggah, though. The only bands I've ever heard like people obsess that much about polyrhythms with is Meshuggah and Tool.
Well, that's because
although they are kind of
August Burns Red more so than
but they're more recent though. They're like yeah, but so everyone in djent is also doing polyrhythms now because of Meshuggah.
Right, but August Burns Red have been doing it in they've also been well, how long have they been out for? Jesus Christ. God. It's not about 10 years, but they've been doing it for a long time. But metalcore is not commonly known for that.
Yeah.
I know djent is.
Yeah.
But
djent's not that old. I mean,
the reason that people would associate less with that in August Burns Red is because they commonly will go into halftime breakdowns very easily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so here's the other thing. Meshuggah was formed in the late 80s.
Right.
And I think their first album came out in the 90s, technically. I'm not 100% sure. But so, yeah, they're mostly from the 90s. Mm-hmm. But they've been around a long time. And for the longest time, they were just this, you know, obscure, niche, extreme metal band, you know? And now, if you go see them, they fucking pack places. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. People love Meshuggah.
Yeah. But the thing is, they're doing like what the stuff they're doing, the kind of rhythmic complexity, and then I don't know. There's few people who get on that level, including super crazy. I mean, there are other people who do polyrhythms. They don't quite do them the way they do them. The other thing being that again, djent bands started. Like djent basically started copying Meshuggah. That's where djent comes from, basically. It's mainly started with like Periphery.
So Periphery is the band that I've been listening to a lot recently.
They basically tried to do...
And their first album was 2010.
Yeah. Periphery is basically, my impression of it, is they're basically like trying to take existing prog metal type stuff, but also the
Applied.
Meshuggah thing, and kind of put it together and do something kind of new.
Definitely. That's what I've listened to so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I've listened to Tesseract, and theirs is more of a melodic sense than Periphery.
Yeah.
Periphery more leans Meshuggah and Tesseract.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put them at any different,
Yeah, Tesseract also really, at least recently, has gone over well with the prog crowd. I mean, the thing with Djent is that a lot of prog people who got into it were like, why is this a separate thing?
Yeah.
In some ways, it follows a lot of the same criteria as prog metal.
Well, the other argument, I remember the first time I was like, the fuck is Djent? Really? Just shut up. Like, what is Djent? Why are you trying to sub genre?
Well, but that's because of the internet's fault.
I put on YouTube, for example, something like, or Google, just for a laugh, I was like, Djent, and then I saw something about breakdowns, and I was like, right, give me a Djent breakdown. And so it came up with like 20 best Djent breakdowns, and I went through like a vast, option basis of Djent breakdowns. And the most distinct thing that I could find about Djent breakdowns is that it was single note breakdowns. It was not based on fifth chords. It was not based upon, anything else other than that. That was the main distinction. Instead of being like palm muted fifth chord breakdowns, it was, single note breakdowns.
Yeah.
And
which is also, well, I mean, that's also just the entire genre. There's a ton of Djent bands who just do that single low down, like that kind of like, and that's like everything for some bands,
right?
Some very bad bands, but I mean, okay, so the main thing is like you take like Periphery and also like Animals as Leaders, kind of.
I love them, right?
And then after them you get like Monuments, Tesseract, the Contortionist, stuff like that. The thing is,
no Tesseract.
Yeah, the thing is, so nobody really. The problem is you get a lot of bands who are trying to do the Meshuggah thing, but they're not Frederick Thorndahl. And again,
so would you say that Djent is Meshuggah and that it's all
no, because Meshuggah's
aggressive?
not Djent. Meshuggah's
okay.
Meshuggah, right? Djent is like, the word comes from Meshuggah because I think it was
because there's a fucking silent D in the beginning of the bloody genre.
Okay, first of all, my whole thing is that Djent is a genre that would not exist without the internet, right? First of all, you would not have the number of people you do.
I can see that and agree with that. Very much so.
Talking about Meshuggah, I mean, it started mainly on the Meshuggah 7-string and like maybe John Petrucci forums. I mean, this is at least where like Misha Mansour from
those
Periphery comes
wankers
from.
that you're on. I'm just kidding.
What? No, this is, dude, I'm talking about Periphery.
No,
this is
I was talking about.
Yeah, this is Misha. This is your buddy.
No, I was talking about the John Petrucci stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's because Misha can't play like John Petrucci anyway, so I don't know what he was doing on that forum because his leads suck. But
okay.
So Misha,
pro people fight.
Okay, so Misha Mansour, who went by Bulb online, he started out on the Meshuggah 7-string and Petrucci forums, and he got some popularity. I assume that like now he posted a ton of gear videos and he like buys a ton of guitars and shit, so he posts a lot of, oh, look at my cool guitars. And but he's like, the first Periphery album was basically like there's like 3 or 4 versions of it, and if you ask Rich, he will tell you in detail which is the best in it. I don't care. The original instrumental version was just like Bulb, and I don't know if he worked with Tosin on that. I know he worked with Tosin on the first Animals as Leaders.
Really?
He helped with the first Animals as Leaders, which is why it's significantly different. That's why the first 3 are all, because the first one was Tosin, and I think Misha helped, or at least helped record it, like maybe produced it. But I heard he helped maybe write some too. And then the second one, there was a band, but I think Tosin was the boss, so I think he said they contributed, but I don't know. But then the third one,
Charles will tell us about that.
Yeah, well, the third one they definitely contribute. The third one he said it's more like a band, although I think Tosin still writes a lot of it. But either way, the point is, Tosin and Misha are like the start of Djent in a lot of ways, I think. And they're clearly the most popular guitar guys in it. But both of what they're playing is not really that much like Meshuggah at the end of the day. If you really put them
not at all.
They took the 8th string, they took the Djent part, right? The Djent part is, okay, so there's some interview, and the vocalist for Meshuggah said, I think he's actually, I think he was the first one to say the Djent thing. He was just saying that's like the sound it makes. He didn't say this is what our music's called or anything. He was just like, yeah, it's like it's like Djent sound, like Djent, 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 Djent. That's where that comes from. It's an onomatopoeia that's supposed to represent the sound.
As you said, the internet takes over.
And a bunch of douchebags write music where the only thing they do is go
Djent,
right, and right, and so that's where you get Djent. And the problem is that, like, it's not. At first, I was like, but shouldn't this just be like an offshoot of prog metal, since it's kind of like prog metal but adding the Meshuggah thing and the 8 strings?
No,
the problem with that is it's actually not, because when I actually listened to more, I was like, it's not very progressive.
Yeah.
The only quote unquote progressive thing they do is they try to force polyrhythms into every fucking song, and it gets old really fast. The problem is polyrhythms are supposed to feel off, right? They're supposed that's what gives it groove, right?
Yeah.
And when every song is a polyrhythm start to finish, there's not, it doesn't groove that hard, and it kind of gets monotonous.
This is why I got into Animals as leaders for the joy of motion. So I remember way back, for a lot of bands that I've disliked, and you could just say metal, just to put them into metal. Animals as leaders. I remember I was in a band with a guy, and I'd played a live show with him almost, because they did that many drugs, and it just did not happen, and cops and stuff, and it was just like, hey, you're fucking kidding me. But the guy, the lead guitarist was like, yeah, man, you gotta listen to Animals as leaders. They're great. They do a lot of modal stuff. And I'm like, yes, I understand what modes are. There's a very simple concept of.
So he wanks in a lot of modes. So back in track shred.
So he was just like, stuff and stuff and stuff. And I was like, okay, all right. And I listened to Animals as leaders, and I was like, I don't like them.
Yeah.
At all.
Right. Well, like the first one. So that's right. So that's why some people only like the first album, because that was like, there was some Misha in that, and that was a whole different thing, right? The second album, some people complained it got too djenty, because there was clearly some like serious stuff on the second album where it was just trying to be like get the heavy in there, right? And then the third album is almost like he said, "Fuck it," and just wrote instrumental guitar music.
The moment
right?
that
it's almost not djent at all.
The moment that I bought The Joy of Motion, I was happy. I would play that album every day, and like take a shit. I would like clean the kitchen. I would take a shit. I would take a shower. I was like, oh my god, The Joy of Motion is amazing.
Yeah,
it's a great album.
Well, and it's funny because it's such a different kind of album than the other two,
right?
And I think it's part of why it's so popular. And again, it is almost like they just kind of hit like, it's basically just instrumental guitar music now, and just with 2 8 strings.
Well, a lot of it was definitely what you were talking about with called Djenty, and there's a lot of when I'm walking in the street and I want to pick my favorite songs out of Joy of Motion to just move people out the way, like I listen to those songs. Yeah. And then when I want to have the nicer, more instrumental songs, I sit and I'm like, oh, this is nice. Good night, random stranger. Like, good night, sweet prince. Just like, have a good time. But I just remember listening to a lot of old Animals as leaders, and it was just not.
It's a whole different thing, and some people prefer that. But
I love The Joy of Motion. I mean, it was phenomenal to me. Yeah. But Djent, as far as I'm listening to, from what I gather of it, and what I've listened to, as far as Periphery, I've been listening to a lot recently. It's single note grooves, and yes, a lot of polyrhythm stuff. And
Yeah. See, I like the first Periphery.
that's my favorite one so far.
Right. Okay, so you want to know...
Icarus Lives is my favorite fucking track.
Yeah, that's their best song. Do you want to know why they're getting worse every album?
I don't like their new stuff at all.
Because it's terrible. Let me tell you why.
Thank you.
There's a very specific reason why. There's no mystery to this.
Place.
There's no mystery. Let me explain this. Okay, so similarly, the first Periphery album was mostly like Misha, right? It was basically a solo thing. It was his Bulb album. And then when nobody wanted to like listen to his bulb or whatever.
It sounds really wrong.
It does. So then he got, a singer. There's like two different versions with different singers too. And the funny thing is, the best...
I thought it was all Spencer Corona. I mean, Spencer, what's his name?
Well, the final version was, but there was a previous version with a different guy, and some people prefer him, but I don't really care. So the second album... But he put out the first one was basically like a solo album, and then he got a band for it, right?
Right.
It got popular. He got a band. Well, he got Spencer to sing on, then he got a whole band and everything, and 3 guitar players, because that's totally necessary. And I can totally tell in any given song that you have more than one guitar player, except I never, ever can tell that.
Yeah, 3.
There are 3, yeah. And I could never be like, yeah, I see why they have 3 guitar players. Never once in any Periphery song have I ever been like, yeah, they really needed 3 guitars here. Never.
Yeah.
So... but one of them is John Petrucci's nephew.
Really?
Yes. Jake Bowen. And the other guy is some other guy, and I don't really care for any of them. But so the second album, there was a whole band, right? So it was a little bit more of like a band contribution kind of thing. Then after that, they did this weird project where each one of them wrote one song for it. So, great way to make an album that sounds like it doesn't belong together as an album, which is what it sounded like. And then after that, they were like, that worked great, guys. And so now they're all just like, oh, the new album is even more collaborative. And I'm like, yeah, and it sounds even less interesting and more like, yeah, stop letting those other assholes write shit because I don't like what they write. I'm not that crazy about Misha to begin with, but adding more people to the mix who I like even less, it's just like diminishing returns. And on top of that, again, there's like 6 people in the band now, and they're all contributing, and it's getting
3
worse
guitar
and
players,
worse every
singer,
time.
bass player, drummer.
Yeah. And you got Misha, who changes guitars like every song between 6, 7s, and 8s.
Oh,
He's the only one who plays 8 strings.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
The other guys mostly play 6s, and I think one of them occasionally, and I think Jake plays a 7 part of the time because he has a 7-string model too. But the other guy,
everybody played a 7-string. No,
I don't think. I think the other guy, Mark, only I think even plays 6-string PRSs. But they tune down anyway. No,
fuck you, are Paul Rash, my dick,
and he's
Smith.
like an Dorsey and shit too. But
my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
hey, Paul Reed Smith, I met you. I'm not a Scottish guy that you told me that the guitar I was holding would best fit me as an explorer. You're a fucking wank. Thanks, Paul Reed Smith.
I don't know. Leading manufacturer of dentist guitars? Or maybe that's Gibson.
Exactly. Guitars that work for everyone, but not for some people.
Yeah.
There are specific people. Anyhow, well, I'm glad about this education of Djent. Thank you.
Yeah. And then I needed this. I think there was one other thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the best Periphery show I ever saw. I've seen them like four times.
I have not seen them at all.
I've seen them a lot. The best show I ever saw was when I saw them at NAMM in California, and the singer couldn't make it. So they played the whole set instrumentally.
Are you kidding?
And it was the best Periphery set I've ever seen. Because that guy's not a great live singer.
Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer's not a great live singer. He's got his moments, but he's just there's a lot of straining.
Sorry, Spencer.
Not that Spencer.
No, actually, I've watched the live shows on YouTube, and he really fucks up a lot.
Yeah,
he cannot sing it.
He's constantly singing out of he's a tenor, so he sings high, but they want him to sing really high. And then he's gotten better, I guess, at the extreme stuff, but I don't care anymore. By the time, like the last time I heard him, like when he first started doing the rough stuff, I was kind of like, he's not very good at it.
Yeah.
And he needs to work on that. And he has worked on it. He's gotten better at it. It just doesn't matter. Like, I don't care. The songs are so bad now. I don't care
if it's your full-time job to do it and you're going to be good at it, then you should do it. But the last...
He's flat a lot live, too. His pitch is really bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you see a lot of this, that's fine. But, you know.
The other thing that they do, which is kind of also a universal Djent thing, is that Djent has a lot of, like, pseudo atonal stuff, right? Where they're like... Bing, bing, bong, 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 and that kind of shit. And they don't know what the fuck they're doing, clearly. Like 90% of the time, I guarantee it's just like randomness.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Meshuggah doesn't have to worry about that because there's no melodic vocals, right? In Meshuggah, the vocalist is like another rhythm instrument.
Which is a wonderful thing. Yeah. I really appreciate
that. Actually is what made me kind of get into Meshuggah more, is when I stopped wishing there was somebody singing, and I was like,
I will try again.
I can recommend some tracks. It's really about...
Please do. Recommend some tracks, because, you know, Meshuggah for me, that guy's voice is also... It used to be grating to me. I've heard a recent track and I was like, that wasn't that great. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, that was the big thing. I was like, okay, it's another rhythm instrument. He's adding extra rhythm on top of the already crazy, you know... polyrhythmic type stuff, and he's adding an extra on top of that. So yeah, the other so here's another. I saw Tesseract a couple times, but the last time I saw them, there was this band opening for them, and this is my like worst of Djent thing. This might be a good thing to
worst of Djent.
Yeah, no, this is the worst of Djent in my opinion.
I love that. This
is like how I was like, how is this even Djent? I don't know. This fucking bullshit is. So okay, so the lineup was Tesseract was headlining, even though one of their guitar players wasn't there, and he was replaced by backing tracks. So there were two guitars, but only one of them was actually played live, and there was just nobody there for the other guy. And then the singer had like a cold, and then they fired him after that tour anyway. So, all right. So the lineup was Cloudkicker, Intronaut, and Tesseract. And the thing about those first two bands is
they headlined, right?
What?
Tesseract.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first band, Cloudkicker, like so many Djent bands, is one dude with a computer and drum samples and a guitar. And I don't know if he uses plugins or effects or whatever, but the point is, he got the offer to be on this tour, but he has no band. So the other opening band, Intronaut, acted as his backing band for the first set. What this means is that most of those dudes I saw play two sets. The big problem with that is not so much Intronaut's set. In fact, Intronaut basically fucked themselves because I don't really remember anything that unique about their set. It wasn't as bad as Cloudkicker, but it wasn't good like Tesseract sort of was. But Cloudkicker, and this is the thing, is I heard about them online before this, and I heard like, oh, I can't believe Cloudkicker is actually going to play live. They never played live before because it's just this one guy and Intronaut's being his backing band, and everyone's like, oh my God, that's so exciting. And then I saw him, and I'm like, yeah, you know why you don't have a band? Your music sucks, and it's not interesting, and like this is not a thing that I should see on like a professional national tour.
Okay.
Like basically every single song was almost entirely one djenty kind of stuff, and it wasn't even that djenty. It was more like the polyrhythm part of it, but like one polyrhythm groove for like way too long. Maybe a little bit of a B section, and then back to that one polyrhythm groove. And it was like that every song. And the polyrhythm grooves were slow. And the thing about polyrhythms is if you slow them down enough, they're not remotely challenging or difficult or even convey the right rhythmic effect anymore. You know what I mean? Like if you slow down a polyrhythm, it's not a big deal anymore. Everyone's all like, because half the thing with like stuff like polyrhythms and prog people with their polymeters and different unusual odd meters and stuff is like the best the worst bands are gonna just think that's all they need, right? They learn to play in 7/8 and they're like, I'm a prog band, you know? It's kind of like that, only all you have to learn is the one polyrhythm, and it's the same general polyrhythm, more or less, as almost every Djent band uses. And this is the problem. I hear the same thing. But this particular band was extra, and it was instrumental. It was long, kind of grooving, but sort of drony, long, like drawn out polyrhythms. Right. And that was like your whole song. And there was no like melody on top of it. There was no singing. There was no extra guitar melody. It was just this one dude. Basically, this dude came up with a bunch of riffs and then made an album. And a bunch of people online were like, that's really good. I really want to see him live. This other band should be his backing band. Now, it won't be boring at all. So they bored the shit out of me. And then they left, and most of the band came back and played slightly less boring music, but not by much. And that was when I realized I just don't like Djent. Overall, Djent is not, for me, its own, like, internal, like, criteria are counter to my, like, criteria for good music I want to listen to. And so, for the most part, if someone's like, yo, you hear this Djent band? I'm like, probably not. And I probably want to keep it that way. So, Cloud Kicker's the worst. That guy should probably.
Can't wait to listen to.
I don't know if he has an actual band.
I'm gonna listen to him.
Yeah, I kind of want to check now because I haven't like looked up, see if he's like still around. This is a few years ago now, so
I want to listen to him.
He might still be around. He might have a band. Maybe it's just him in his bedroom.
Cloud Cocker. Can't wait.
Weird. It was not. I was like, really? This is like, everyone's excited about this?
Well, thanks for educating me in the ways of Djent.
Anytime.
I appreciate it, man. So, side note before closing,
yep.
Right? The wonderful thing that we're doing now, which is Choose Your Suffering.
Oh, yeah. So, as you may have heard on a previous episode, or future episode, depending on what order I release them in. We're going to try to do some more specific, in-depth album reviews, but I don't know what albums to do. So,
well, we do. We just.
Well, I know some, but it's harder for me to find bad albums to make myself listen to. Right? Yeah. That's a lot of suffering to take upon oneself.
Oh God.
So.
Kill me.
What we need is you to help choose our suffering. And the way to do that is shoot us an email at hatemail@yourmusicisbad.com or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. The one true facebook.com/yourmusicisbad, or is it oh shit. It's facebook.com/YMIB podcast. I remember because last time I said it, I said both and then edited in the right one once I checked. It's YMIB podcast. That's the Facebook/that. Or just at the One True Matt on Twitter and Instagram. And let us know what you think. Give us suggestions for stuff to review. If you have concerns, you'd like to tell us that we're idiots and we don't know what we're talking about, you would direct that to hatemail@yourmusicisbad.com. If you have mail that's not hate mail, you can send it there too. It's kind of a joke, but nobody's sending me hate mail or just not hate mail. So, I mean, what I mean is I'm getting tons of mail all the time. That's what I'm supposed to say.
But it's happy mail.
So if you want me to get to your message, you should like send it and make it all caps and be like,
send it here.
I love the podcast. Inside, I have included money, which is not physically possible.
Your music unless you somehow bad.
Include bitcoins in your emails.
Fucking bitcoins.
If you'd like to donate bitcoins to Your Music Is Bad, you can't yet. But I'll see what I can do about that.
That'd be great.